What's going on, my guys? We're back, Lost and Found Dating channel, like we never left. Here again as a family, coming together to chat about some of these dating topics. Thank you for tuning into the video. Definitely, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be the first to know when we come out with new content each and every week. You can also find us on Instagram and on Twitter. Twitter's a little slow right now, but on Instagram, we're a lot more active on Instagram. So you can find us on Instagram, engage with us on there. Without further ado, let's dive into this week's topic. We got a special one for you guys this week. Got a beard hair in my mouth. All right, fellas. This week, the topic at hand is how to respond if you ask a woman out and she says maybe, or if she says I'll let you know. Now, if you're a guy and you've been dating for, if you've been out there meeting women and dating and out on the market for at least 2 weeks, that's probably the minimum. If you've been out there on the market for 2 weeks, you've probably gotten an average of 2.7 maybes or I'll let you knows by this point. So in this video, we're gonna talk about how to address those situations where you ask a woman out, you say, hey, we should get together. I'd like to go out with you. I'd like to go on a date with you. And she says, sure, I'll let you know. So some of you guys might be wondering, how do I respond to that kind of situation? What can I do to maximize the results and maximize the likelihood, in my opinion, that the date will actually happen? So that's what we're gonna dive into in this video. So rule number one, if you ask a woman out and she says, I'll let you know or I'll get back to you, is you always respond positively to that, right? So if I'm asking a woman out and she says, I'll let you know or I'll get back to you, let me check my schedule, the way I respond is almost as if we just finalized plans, right? So she's like, hey, I'll let you know, I'll get back to you. I just respond like, cool, sounds good to me. It's almost as if I've concluded that, we'll go on a date at some point. I'm sure you'll let me know, right? So you want to respond positively. You want to respond with confidence. You don't want to respond in a negative tone or with anger or with resentment, because sometimes that can communicate to her that maybe you're a guy who is used to women flaking on him or is used to being told I'll let you know or I'll get back to you, and you panic in those situations, or it makes you anxious because you know that at the end of the day, she's probably not going to get back to you. So as a rule of thumb, I always recommend responding positively, just saying, cool, sounds good to me, cool, sounds great, I'll hear back from you once you check your schedule. So that's rule number one. So again, you want to make sure you respond with confidence, and you want to respond with that attitude of, it sounds good. If we end up going on a date, that'll be great. But if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. My hopes and dreams are not going to be crushed. I'll be a-okay if it doesn't happen, right? That's not the words that you're saying, but the mindset and the attitude is, cool, sounds good to me. When you get back to me, you get back to me, and we'll go from there. Now, the key thing is, it's not just about what you're saying. It's not just about speaking confidence. You have to make sure that there's an alignment between what you're saying and your actions, right? You have to make sure that those two things are congruent, that those two things are in alignment. So what that means is if you tell her, cool, sounds good, or you say, sounds great, let me know, that means you follow through on that and you allow her to respond back to you. You allow her to let you know when her schedule frees up, or let you know when she has a day where she's available to go on a date with you. And a super important theme, guys, that really touches on every aspect and every level of dating is, yes, women appreciate when a guy shows that he's putting forth effort. Yes, to some degree, women appreciate persistence, but it's also important that you balance persistence with patience, right? So what does that mean? Yes, you've asked her out, you've expressed interest in her, you've expressed that you would like to go on a date with her to get to know her more, but at the same time, you want to express patience. So what that means is if she says, I'll let you know, or I'll get back to you, you're not hounding her and pestering her and irritating her, each and every day. Hey, did you check your schedule? Hey, are you free? Hey, just checking in, right? You let her get back to you because that's what she said she's gonna do. Now, super important nugget here, and I think this is a challenge and a mental hurdle that I see guys struggle with sometimes. If you're exchanging with a woman and you ask her out and she says, I'll let you know, or I'll get back to you, if she doesn't follow through and she doesn't get back to you, that's not on you, right? It's not your fault if she doesn't follow through on her end and reach back out to you, or she doesn't let you know when her availability is. Let me repeat that again, guys. If she doesn't follow through on her saying and expressing that she's gonna get back to you, it's not your fault, right? So it's not now your responsibility to check in and remind her that the date offer is still on the table, right? You've put the offer out there, right? You've done your part. You asked her out. You've stepped out there and done your part. Now it's on her to reciprocate and let you know when she's free. So don't get caught up in thinking, well, if she doesn't get back to me, that means that I should ask her, that it means I should follow up. That's not what that means. That just means that she wasn't accountable and she didn't follow through with what she said she was gonna do. Hope you guys understand that. Super important. And the important thing, guys, is you really have to have that mindset of it's not your responsibility, it's not on you to have to follow up and remind her. Asking yourselves, guys, has there ever been a date opportunity with a woman you were interested in and someone had to remind you, or she had to check back with you and say, hey, do you still want to take me out? That's never happened, guys. Regardless of what you're doing, you're thinking about the date opportunity. You could be at work, you could be at the gym, you could be doing whatever. When you know that there's an opportunity to go on a date with a woman you're interested in, she doesn't have to follow up with you and remind you that the date offer is there. So I want you guys to have that same mindset. Sometimes with dating, I see that there's kind of this double standard here where if she says, I'll let you know, and you don't follow up with her or you don't check in, some women will label that as, well, he wasn't that interested, or he wasn't persistent enough, right? He didn't try enough, he wasn't persistent enough. I want a guy who's willing to show me that he wants me, right? So there's that standard. But if you do follow up with her and you say, hey, is the date offer still there? And she's not interested, now you're being thirsty, now you're being impatient, now you're irritating her, right? So sometimes we as guys are kind of trapped in this zone where regardless of what we do, it's gonna be labeled a certain way. to just avoid all of that and not be put in a box, my MOE, my course of operations is, if she says she's gonna let me know, just let her let you know and follow up with you. Again, that's what she said she's gonna do. If you had plans with your guy friends or something like that, you would hold them to the same standard, the same expectations. So you don't have to lower them just because you are the guy and you're pursuing. I don't really agree with that mindset there. And to be honest with you guys, maybe this is just a weird thing about me. I'm happy to share this. In any situation where I'm making plans and a woman is like, maybe I'm still looking at my calendar, but I'll let you know, or I'm not really sure how my weekend is looking, but I'll let you know. On the inside, for me, I'm not saying this just to say it. I actually do like a mini celebration. Like in the past, when a woman says, I'll let you know, or hey, can I check my schedule and I'll get back to you. On the inside, I'll text her, cool, sounds good. And on the inside, I'm like this, yes, woo! Now, again, that's just me. For some guys, I totally understand if it frustrates you, or if you're like, oh man, I know what's gonna happen, she's not gonna get back to me. So I totally understand. Maybe I'm just a weirdo, I'm happy to admit that. But there's a couple reasons why I actually celebrate and I look forward to instances where a woman says, I'm gonna let you know, or maybe, or I'll get back to you. And the reason why I'm excited when I get that kind of response is, one, as I mentioned before, it allows me to see, just how accountable she is as far as making plans, as far as getting back to me in a relatively timely manner and saying, hey, this is when I can get together, or this is when I'm free. So it allows me to see, hey, is this someone who, is this a woman who, when she says that she's gonna get back to me, she does so? Is this a woman who is very organized as far as her calendar? Sometimes they'll say they'll get back to you and then weeks pass and then, oh, I totally forgot. Am I gonna get that kind of situation? Or I've interacted with women who they say, I'll let you know, I'll get back to you. And then, in 2 days or 3 days, they say, hey, I'm free on Monday. Can you do Monday, right? That for me, they sort of earn credibility in that sense, because I can see, okay, this is someone who's accountable. And accountability for me is something that I look for as far as a woman whom I'm dating. So one is I get to assess her level of accountability as far as keeping a schedule, keeping her plans and things organized. And the second is it allows me to demonstrate my patience. It allows me to demonstrate value. I'm sure there are a lot of women who know when they text a guy, I'll let you know, or I'll get back to you, like clockwork, they know, okay, tomorrow morning, this guy's gonna text me, good morning, just wanted to see if you're still free or not, or at some point he's gonna follow up with them, right? So by not doing so, it allows me to kind of demonstrate value and demonstrate, hey, I'm a guy who's patient. I'm gonna let you, get back to me like you said you would. And I'm not gonna confront you about it or come off with any anger or resentment. And I think that's something that level of patience is something that I think women appreciate when it comes to guys asking them out. So for me personally, those are a couple of the reasons why, like I said, I have a mini celebration whenever a woman's like, I'll let you know, can I get back to you? I do a little Tiger Woods, do one of those. And that's really it for this video, guys. The most important thing was just to give you some strategies, some framework on how to handle situations. The biggest thing really is letting you guys know that just because she says, I'll let you know or I'll get back to you, don't assume right away. Don't just jump to the negative and assume, oh, that means she's not interested, guys. Don't just jump to that conclusion and assume because she's not, ready to make plans and make a date right then that she's not interested. I'll speak firsthand. Some of my best, relationships or some of my best dating experiences came where I asked the woman out and it took her a couple of days to look at her schedule and then get back to me, right? So, you don't jump straight to the negative. What I would recommend is just having a positive mindset, saying, cool, sounds good, looking forward to hearing back from you. If she does reach back out to you, then you can set up a date. If she doesn't, then you know where things stand, you know where her level of interest is, and you can move forward either way. And again, guys, patience is super important. Sometimes just by you not following up and you not, hounding her and trying to, pinpoint a date, sometimes that creates curiosity in and of itself that will get you to the first date. Like, I'll admit to you guys, sometimes I felt like just by not over pursuing, that in and of itself will increase a woman's interest, because she's like, huh, I told him I would get back to him a couple of days ago, but he hasn't, texted me to reach out, or he hasn't been, texting me with frustration, telling me to figure out and trying to hurry me to make plans. I think, and I could be wrong here, but I think sometimes that curiosity of just, this guy seems very patient, he's not over pursuing, sometimes that will carry you to that first date where you can then build rapport and build interest, just from there. Sometimes her interest level may be kind of lukewarm, but just seeing how you respond to her saying, I'll get back to you and I'll let you know, just by that display of value and that display of patience, that will then help facilitate that first date actually being scheduled. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, click that like button. Click that like button, leave a comment, share some thoughts. Let us know what you've been thinking about the channel thus far. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be the very first to know when we come out with new content each and every week. We're dropping videos, we're getting busy, we're recording, we're editing, we're making things happen, all for you guys and just to give you value, to help the fellas out there in their dating life. So signing off, signing out, Lost and Found Dating Channel. Peace.